Hey people, how are you all doing? It's Revival of Wisdom, and today we're going to be talking about your birth certificates and how we are slaves to a system and how they have trapped us into this system. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand about this system is there are two types of laws. You have the law of water, which is admiralty law, and the law of the land. So the admiralty law is the law of water, and this is what money is. Money is water. This is why we say liquidity, currency, the current. A current is water, something moving through something. Cash flow. And this is why banks are called banks, because a river bank is on either side of the water and it directs the currency. You see? So money is water. And as you can see here, Ripple, the cryptocurrency, Ripple, water Ripple, and they're building a bridge over water, overseas, international banking with cryptocurrency. So money is water, and this has specific laws about water, but water is the same everywhere, you see. What the difference is with the law of the land is that you can have different laws in different lands. I can't do certain things in the UK that people can do in America, for example. You see, that's the law of the land, but the law of water is the same because water is everywhere. Now, this is very important to understand when it comes to, these birth certificates. So, Pope Gregory, this is where we're going to start off. Pope Gregory in 1582 took the Orthodox Eastern sunrise calendar and changed it to his own Gregorian timeline, not a calendar, a timeline. This timeline was copyrighted by Pope Gregory under the name of the Vatican. So the Vatican owns the timeline that we are using today, 2023. They own it. They own the title of this Gregorian calendar. Okay. Therefore, anyone who is born under this copyrighted timeline, not calendar, they are subjected to Rome because Rome owns the timeline. They have a patent, a copyright for that timeline. What is on our birth certificates? That timeline. We are born underneath. We are subjected to the Vatican. This is why all birth certificates go to the Vatican. They own every single birth certificate. Okay? So when we use this timeline, we are subjecting ourselves to this timeline. Okay? Which the Vatican has a claim over. This calendar or timeline is set to sunset, not the sunrise, which is associated with death, darkness, and the moon, lunatics. You see, so this is a sunset calendar timeline. Okay, this is now, they've changed a couple things, right? They say that the new year is January the 1st. Okay, when we know this is in winter. January is winter, which is associated with darkness, death, the death of nature. So this is a death cult, people. These people are evil. They're so evil, the Vatican. And this is why we use April Fool's Day, because April is in Aries, and Aries is always the start of the zodiac. This is why Aries rules the head region. 12 zodiacs, 12 systems of the body. Each zodiac is associated with each part of the body, and this is why Aries is the head, cerebrum. But we're not going to talk about in this video. But yes, that is what April Fool's Day is. They're putting it in your face. April Fool's Day is the real start of the year, when the sun starts to rise again, when the risen Savior is resurrected, when it's born again. This is when the Jews celebrate the Passover. This is when the Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, and they eat lamb. The Jews eat lamb because we're in Aries, the new year. The sun is now born again, our risen Savior, the light of the world. So yes, this is what April Fool's Day is. It's the first day of the year, which they changed. Pope Gregory changed. So you need to understand is that you are in the womb. You are inside of a ship, because every ship, literally a ship, every ship is female. This is why they say she delivers the product, because she does deliver the product. You, the baby. Same thing with a ship. They deliver products. They are a she. And when they pull up to the bay, like you can see on this picture, they're pulling up to the bay. This is now called the birth canal. The ship is now in birth. On paper. Okay, this is law. And when they pull up, they tie up to the bay, and now they get a certificate of manifest certifying all of the products which are on the ship and what they are bringing into that nation. Okay, so you're bringing in this many of that, everything's on the certificate of manifest. And this certificate of manifest is also your birth certificate, because you are traveling through water when you are in the birth canal of your mother, because you are in water when you are in the womb, and you travel through the birth canal. And when you arrive, you get a certificate of manifest with the name, how many, the quantity, that's your birth certificate. Okay. And this is what it is. We are a we're not a corporation, but we represent a corporation, which is your name in full capital letters. That is your corporation. You cannot physically tax a body, but you can tax a corporation. This is why we get charged. This is why we get taxed, because it all goes down to the corporation, which our name represents, which we are subjecting ourselves to. We are my name. I am subjecting myself to this name, and that name has a corporation which I represent, which I subject myself to. You see, this is how we are attached to this straw man, this character that they have built on paper. So it's a character which is on paper. This is what we represent. So when the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance. Now I'm going to break down how they attach this name to us, how they do it. Okay. Our mother is carrying us the product in the womb, the water. And it goes from the United Kingdom into a state-owned, corporate, federal-owned hospital, which is government-owned. She does not declare the package when she enters the building. So keep that in mind. When she delivers the package in the federal territory, she does not declare the package either when she leaves. Therefore, there is no evidence that we exist when we arrive. On paper. On paper, there is no evidence that we came into the building or left the building. We have not been declared. So we do not exist on paper at this point. When the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance, which is called the afterbirth material. Okay? This afterbirth material has the same DNA as our physical body, with the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? This is how they get this corporation. Hold on. The afterbirth material does not get claimed by the mother nor anyone. Therefore, they salvage that substance, because we are under the Vatican. Every state is all Catholic. Your birth certificate is Catholic. No matter what religion you think you are, every single birth certificate is Catholic, because we are subjected to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Rome runs all of this. Okay? We're still under the Roman Empire. Okay, so Rome are Catholic, and they believe in salvation. This is how religion comes into this. This is how they use religion to get this. So they salvage the afterbirth material, and they claim it, and they salvage it and give it and charge it to Rome, and they give it a name. Here's the legal term: born alive. Here's what it says. Each product of such birth is considered live, born, and fully recognized as a human person. So each product of such birth, so that could be anything, the afterbirth, the person who actually comes out, the baby. So your afterbirth, which we do not take with us, we take the baby with us. They keep that in the hospital. They collect the afterbirth and they salvage it and they give it the name, which it is us. We are a representative to that afterbirth material, which they put the name on, they claimed, which is subject to Rome. So we are walking around our whole lives as a representative to that claimed salvaged afterbirth material, which the federal state have. Okay. We are under the Catholic Church, Vatican. Therefore, the afterbirth material is a child of God. See, on paper, therefore, they believe in salvation and salvage the afterbirth material. This material has no mother or father. The state pick it up. It becomes a war to the courts and gets charged to the state. So we are a representative to that character they salvaged because it is the exact same DNA as you. Subject is the name or the title, and the matter is the physical aspect left behind in the hospital, which represents us. You see? So now we're moving on to Unum Sanctum. Unum Sanctum was in 1302, a very, very important year. Very important year. Unum Sanctum says this is basically how they claim everyone in the world. So the Vatican had all this power, all this gold, all these people under them. They need to get a claim for them so then they can rule over them and make them slaves. So what they did, they created Unum Sanctum. Pope Boniface VIII did this. And it says, the spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, keep that in mind, unless he invent like Manichaeus, two beginnings, which is false and judged by heretical, since according to the testimony of Moses, it is not in the beginnings, but in the beginning that God created heaven and earth. Furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subjected to the Roman pontiff. So they are claiming us in Unum Sanctum, and it's in the vaults in the Vatican. They will put a spell on it because they are sorcerers, they are magicians. They put a spell on it, they lock it up, and whatever goes on that piece of paper goes. And this Unum Sanctum is claiming all of us. So what does it say in the beginning? The spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, the man with the body, mind, and soul, the first baby that comes out the birth canal. That's you, your body, body, mind, and soul. You have the Christ, which is I am, which is grace. Grace means here, now, in the present. You have the Christ, which means I am. Therefore, you have a soul. If you can say I am, you have the Christ. You have a soul. But a creature can be anything with no soul. You see? So no man can judge the man with the soul. However, as it says in the second part, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subject to the Roman pontiff. So they are subjecting the afterbirth, not the man with the body, mind, and soul, but the afterbirth to the Roman pontiff, to the Roman Catholic Church. We are the ones who are claiming to be the afterbirth material, which is our birth certificate, which is our representative. We represent that because it is our DNA. This is how we are stuck. We are stuck because we represent this DNA, which is on paper, recorded. You see? So we, being untaught, uneducated in these subjects, we are subjecting ourselves to this system, to this slavery, because we just want to live. We just want to live happily. No, just peaceful. Think about it. Where's all this coming from? Where's all this war, all this killing, deaths coming from? We just want to live. It's coming from the Catholic Church, these evil death cult, which has subjected us, which has used us as slaves, and we are still slaves, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So this is how we have subjected ourselves to be the slaves to this system. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot more deeper stuff which goes into this. I'm just going over the surface. I'm going quite deep, but there is little details that I still need to learn myself. But this is the general how that we've been stuck to this slave system. So we are batteries, okay? This is why we get charged. When you go in a court, you get charged, okay? Because you're a biological battery. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we are feeding energy to this matrix. Okay, when we look outside of ourselves, when we give power to so-called Jesus Christ, worshipping idols outside of ourselves, where attention goes, energy flows. We are feeding the matrix with energy. By looking within, placing your attention within yourself, you are taking back your power. Because the I am is Christ. The you, the soul, is Christ. It's God. The awareness is God. Okay? However, we are subjecting ourselves to this system. We're subjecting ourselves to this system, and they're feeding off our energy. So what we need to look for the future is that, think about it, with the end goal is to change our DNA, is to literally make us robots, transhumanism, slaves. This is why we have smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart meters, smart cities. And all of this is going to be connected by the smart grid, which is 5G. This is why 5G is rolling out. 5G is going to connect all of these technologies to one. It's like a big net system. And you know why they're doing this? It's because all of this is going to be connected through AI, through this 5G, and that 5G is going to be controlled by the elites. So you say anything wrong, you do something wrong, you say the wrong thing online, they'll turn off your car, they'll turn off your phone, they'll turn off your smartwatch, they'll turn off your TV, because it's all going to be connected and controlled by the smart grid. And this is what the Great Reset is, people. But they're going to trap us inside of these 15-minute smart cities, so we can't leave the area, because they're going to use climate change as a tool to enslave us to not travel because of so-called climate change and the fumes that we are putting into the air, which is all BS. They're doing this to push these new cities, to push all of it. But listen, they're trying to get inside of your body. The only way they can do that is to get you addicted and using this technology. First, they got on the body with the smartphone. Well, first of all, we use the technology. We get used to it with it in our hand. The next step for them was to get on the body, which is the Apple Watch, as you see down here. They have now successfully got onto the body. The next thing is to get inside of the body. This is the brain chip. You see how they've slowly lured their way in, slowly got you addicted to this technology, got you dependent on this technology. And what they're going to do is that they're going to mold society to be dependent on the brain chip. So in order, for example, if you want to go and pay for food, you're going to have to get a chip to pay for the food, because it's all going to be digital money. And that digital money will be connected to the chip, and you'll need the chip to pay for things. You see? So This is how they're slowly transhumanizing us. These phones, these apps, these things which are all we are which are all using was created by Freemasons. Mason means traveler because they travel the depths of the mind. They understand human consciousness. They understand the brain. They understand the mind. By the deepest root cause, they understand it. This is what Masonry is. It's the occult. So these technologies is designed by these people. This is why they're so addictive, because they understand how it works. They understand how to get people addicted because they understand human consciousness, the brain, the body, and the mind. So this is the advantage Freemasons have over us. And these secret societies, which have gone through the orders of Freemasonry and progressed onto these secret societies, which are the evil side, because I'm not saying Freemasonry is evil, okay? But the societies which they go beyond Freemasonry, because you can go beyond the 33rd degree into these secret societies, and they use this knowledge for the bad, to enslave people. And this is what's going to happen. Transhumanism. So I hope you all learned some insight for today. Please do a bit more research on, the birth certificate and stuff like that, the straw man. And have an amazing day, people. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. You don't just have a physical body. You have a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional body. Each one of these aspects are a body of its own. Body does not just refer to a physical substance. You have a mental body for thinking, an emotional body for your emotions, a spiritual body for your energy in your astral form, and a physical body to encapsulate all of these. Each four of these aspects are essential for the human experience and essential to balance. Now, today we're going to be syncing the four aspects of your consciousness with the four seasons and the four elements, and how this ties into the Bible. So we have four physical elements. We have 5 elements in total, spirit being the most important, but spirit is pure invisible. We have 4 physical elements. We have air, fire, earth, water. Earth and water are feminine. Air and fire are masculine. Air and fire are active. Water and earth are passive. The air corresponds with the mental body of consciousness. This is where your intellect, this is where your communication, this is where your thoughts, intuition all comes from. This is the mental body of consciousness that allows you to think, allows you to process, figure things out, and have intellect and gain knowledge. This is your intellectual aspect of your consciousness, located in the head region. We have a fire nature, a spiritual nature. This is our astral body. Our astral body is all to do with the subconscious realms, the higher realms of consciousness. This is the body that allows us to be free from the physical body. Our spirit is more of our energy. Water is our emotional body. This is what allows us to feel things, that allows us to gain intuitive feelings of conscience. So emotion allows us to understand what is right and what is wrong. When we feel something bad, we know that this is wrong. When we feel something good, we know that we are doing good. Emotions are a creational force that allows us to feel certain things to bring them into existence. Our emotional body is a creational force, and should not be reactive, and they should be controlled. Most actions are stemmed from emotions. Actions bring thought into physical existence. Emotions are the driving power. They are what drives your actions. The thought, then the emotion, then the action. Earth is your physical body. This is your physical state that allows you to take mind and emotion into action, into fruition, into physical matter. This is what your physical body allows your consciousness, your soul, to interact with the physical world and bring things into physical existence. The physical body, the physical world, is an outcome and an effect of the thinking mind. All physical substance comes from the thinking mind. The pen, the phone you're holding, the microphone I'm speaking into, all began as a thought in the thinking mind, then it was brought into physical reality. Earth is the most dense. So it goes in this order: body, emotions, spirit, mind. The higher you go up, the more lucid and fluidic it becomes. The lower you go down, the more dense and dull it becomes. Air is the mind, fire is the spirit, water is the emotion, earth is the physical body. So this is why you are a microcosm. You have these four things within you. You contain of these four elements, which correspond to the four bodies of your consciousness, the four bodies of the soul. You are the soul. You are the spirit. So this is why in Theologians 4:17, it says, caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. You don't meet God or the Lord in the physical air, in the clouds. This is clearly a parable. A human being cannot go up to the clouds and meet a mystical man in the clouds. This is obviously a parable, a metaphor. The air is your mind. You must raise your consciousness beyond the body, beyond the emotions, beyond the spirit, and enter in the mind during meditation, turning the mind inward to connect with the Lord. The Lord is the highest aspect of your consciousness, the one that exists beyond the physical body, beyond your emotions, beyond the thought. So you meet the Lord in the air, in the mind. The mind represents the air. This is why in America there's a saying called an airhead. You're an airhead. This means that you are stupid, or you don't think, or you have nothing in your mind. You have nothing in your head. When someone's very stupid, you call them an airhead, because air represents the mind. The air is elevated. The air is invisible. The mind is totally invisible to the human eyes. It is a metaphysical substance. In fact, it's not a substance at all. It's so fluidic. It's everywhere. The mind can be everywhere at all times. It can be anything. Nothing is impossible within the mind. Now, this is synced with the four seasons. The four seasons represent the four aspects of human consciousness, the four bodies of your consciousness, the four bodies of your soul. The sun is your soul, okay? And the sun travels around four seasons. Summer, when the sun is the most hottest point. Autumn, when the sun starts to move away from the hottest point. Things start to die. Then it goes to winter. This is when everything dies. This is when things enter in within itself. This is when darkness occurs. Then spring. This is the reignition of the sun. This is when the sun starts to bring back the warmth back to the summer. You have four seasons which correspond to the four bodies of consciousness. Fire is the spirit. This is when you are passionate. This is when you are taking action. This is when you are fiery. The sun is blazing. You're taking action. You're very passionate. You're very spirit. You're in the spirit. Autumn is water, emotion. This is when you start to become very reflecting. This is when you start to feel emotional. Because in autumn, there's lots of water. This represents the emotional body of consciousness. Winter is the mind. This is air. Winter, what happens in winter? Everything enters within itself. The leaves die. the trees die, everything dies and goes within. This is the mind. The mind is the darkness, remember. You close your eyes to enter within the mind. The winter represents meditation. In the winter, what do people do? They stay inside of their house. They research more. They read more books. They become more intellectual. They think more in the winter because we are so we're stuck inside. So we're more reflective. We're thinking more. We're more communicative. We're more intellectual. In the spring, this represents the earth, the body. This is when we start to come out of the mind and we awaken to the body, and things start to grow again. The plants start to grow. The earth is growing again and reborn again. This is the body. This is when you become more active in the spring. And then the summer, back to the summer, we then take action on these thoughts and these thoughts that we gained over the winter. Essentially, this is just a massive cycle. And this is a daily cycle also. The nighttime is the winter. The morning is the spring. The midday is the summer. And the evening time is the autumn. This is a microcosm. We have 4 bodies of consciousness. You are the sun, you are the soul, and the soul has 4 bodies: summer, autumn, winter, spring. Emotion, air, body, spirit. Sorry, emotion, mind, body, spirit. So you are the soul. You are the pure essence of consciousness. The sun is your soul in the heart. And the seasons are inside of you because you are a microcosm. Okay? You are a microcosm. The word sun is son. The Latin word for sun is sol, which is soul or solo, because the sun is solo. It's on its own. You are the soul, and the soul has the 4 different bodies of consciousness. So, before we move on any further, if I've blown your mind, please, if you can, leave a like, a comment, a share, and a subscribe. Let me know what videos you want me to make in the future. Please drop a like. It definitely will help me. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Man is a miniature universe that goes through its own cycles. The seasons of the summer, winter, spring, and autumn do not occur merely outside of him, but within him as well. The summer is within you. You feel different in the summer. You feel different in the winter. You feel, depending on the body of consciousness, it's your soul's interacting with. So the sun in the sky is your soul inside, and the sun goes through these cycles, which is affecting your bodies of consciousness, because the cycles represent your bodies of consciousness. Now, this ties in with the Bible. This is why we have 4 Gospels. This is why Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are always seen with the 4 different zodiac sign animals or symbols. So you always see each one of the Gospels. If you just type in on Google Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, type in ancient pictures, paintings or pictures of them, and you will find these 4 zodiac signs are always standing with each one. Taurus, the bull; Leo, the lion; Scorpio, the eagle. An old symbol for Scorpio was the eagle, and a man for Aquarius. Here you see very, very ancient paintings and artwork. Here we see Matthew, the man, Aquarius. Here we see John, the Scorpio. Same here. We also see it on the tarot cards, on the world card. We see the 4 fixed zodiac signs. Here we see it as well. These are called the 4 fixed zodiac signs. Now, when we look at the zodiac, we're no longer looking at the sky, because what you must understand is as above, so below. What is above you is inside of you. What is above is what is below. What is outside of you is within you. The zodiac is inside of you. The zodiac revolves around the sun. The sun is your soul. These are different energies of your soul. Like I said earlier, the 4 seasons are the 4 bodies of your consciousness. And in each body of consciousness, you have these different energetic energies that you can work with. Okay, so this is the true astrology. This is the true astrology, the internal esoteric astrology. You can't find much information on this at all. Very hard to find. So what we're looking at are the four bodies of consciousness. Obviously, when you look in the middle of each, when we look in the middle of each season, spring, the middle of spring is Taurus. The middle of winter is Aquarius. The middle of autumn is Scorpio. The middle of summer is Leo. These four signs are known as the four fixed signs. Okay, Scorpio is fixed. It's the middle of autumn. Scorpio is a water sign, emotion. Aquarius is the air sign, the mind. Taurus is an earth sign, the body. Leo is a fire sign, the spirit. This is why we see Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John with the four fixed signs of the zodiac, which represent the four bodies of consciousness. Leo, the spirit, fire. Luke, Taurus, earth, body. Matthew, Aquarius, air, mind. John, Scorpio, water, emotion. Each gospel is depicting Jesus and showing Jesus in each gospel. Each one of these gospels is showing and depicting Jesus according to the different body of consciousness. In John, this is when Jesus starts to turn water into wine. Water is emotion. Wine is transmuted emotion. This is when he does miracles with his emotions, water into wine. Aquarius, which is Matthew, air, the mind. Inside of the Gospel of Matthew, this depicts Jesus as an intellectual person, a person who's communicating and using his mind, his mental body a lot inside of the Gospel of Matthew. Go and read it, and you will see this. Luke, Taurus, earth, the body. Luke shows and depicts Jesus according to the body of consciousness, the physical body. He shows Jesus as a human, being a human being, helping people physically and helping people's physical needs, like giving away food and doing all sorts of good things for other people. Leo, Mark, inside of the Gospel of Mark, this shows Jesus as a spiritual teacher, a passionate person who is taking action. Each gospel is showing Jesus according to the different body of consciousness, and Jesus represents you, the Son. That's why it's called the Son of God, the light of the world. Jesus represents your soul, and your soul has these four gospels, the four bodies of consciousness, the four fixed signs, the four elements, and the four seasons. These things all correspond to your consciousness. So this is Leonardo da Vinci showing you the exact same thing. Jesus is the I am, the Son, the soul, in the middle, on his own. Luke, spring, earth, body. There are three people in each group. There are four groups, and there are three people in each group. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fall, winter, summer, spring. These are according to the four bodies of consciousness. Here we see Aries, which rules the head region. He's on the head of the table. Gemini, he's holding up the two hands because Gemini rules the two hands, the two arms. Gemini is the two twins, which is the two arms and two hands, and the two lungs. Here we see the beginning of summer, which is Cancer. You see the big knife here. Cancer, him here, this grey-haired guy, holding a knife for the crab. Cancer, they pinch. You have a knife, symbolizing the crab. Leo, the middle of summer, showing dominance. The sun is very dominant. He's got his elbow on the table, showing dominance. Virgo has no Adam's apple. Cancer here is pointing at this woman's neck, saying there's no Adam's apple. This is Virgo, the virgin, the only woman. Jesus, the sun. This is Libra, the balancing. He's holding his arms out, balanced, showing the balancing of the sun. Because when the sun enters Libra, the sun is balanced between winter and summer. So it's balanced. This is all astrology, but this is internal. Okay? This is Ezekiel's vision. Ezekiel had a vision in the Bible, and he saw the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of an ox, and the face of an eagle. The eagle is Scorpio, the ox is Taurus, the lion is Leo, and the man is Aquarius. He saw the throne of God. And he saw the different bodies of consciousness. This is all symbolic for the different bodies of your soul. So when we look at the zodiac, we are actually looking at a map and the energies of our soul, and the energies of our bodies, and the energies of our consciousness. This is what we are looking at. Each zodiac is an aspect of our consciousness and an energy that we can work with and that we must purify. Balance and purification is essential. Imagine playing a brand new video game. Let's say a brand new video game came out and you had to play it. What happens when you play that game? You don't know the controls. You cause chaos in that game. You can't really run properly. You can't do anything properly. You're getting destroyed by other people who are playing that game. It's the same with your physical body. When you are born, you must learn how to play the game. You must learn how to balance the mind, learn how to balance the spirit, the emotions, and the physical body. We must balance and purify each body of our consciousness, which we must look after our physical body with our physical health by eating physical, electrical food like fruits and veg. We must look after our minds by being conscious of what enters our eyes, enters our ears, enters everything. Whatever enters our five senses is affecting our mind, our mental health, our environment, mental. We need to look after our thoughts. Control our thoughts by purifying our thoughts, only positive thoughts. Then we must purify our emotions, feeling only gratitude and love and not feeling these negative, dull emotions. Then we must look after our spiritual body through meditation and looking after our spirit. But remember, when we look after our mind, it all begins in the mind. Each body of consciousness is interlocked with the other. If you have an unhealthy body, you have an unhealthy mind, spirit, and emotions. If you have an unhealthy mind, you have an unhealthy body, spirit, and emotions. If you have an unhealthy emotions, you have an unhealthy spirit, mind, and physical body. They're all interlocked. You must balance each one of them. Look after your physical body. Look after your thoughts. Look after your emotions. Look after your spirit. But remember, the mind is the most powerful one. It's mind over matter. Once we look after the mind, because once we start to control our minds and control every thought we think, this will then turn into discipline in our physical body. Because once we learn how to discipline the mind, we learn how to discipline what we eat, we learn how to discipline what we feel, we learn how to discipline our spirit. This is all interlocked, but work on the mind first. Work on the mind first. All of this knowledge is inside of the brand new Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. This is a revolution of human consciousness. If you've read it, please leave a review down below. If you've read Volume 1, leave a review down below. This is the next revolution. I don't see this information anywhere. This is the next revolution of human consciousness. And of course, if you are serious about this and you truly want to gain enlightenment and join an amazing community where you can connect with me on live calls, lectures, the Manifestation Mastery course, you can gain access to my library with over 45 PDFs plus my books. And if you do join the university, you can order a Volume 2 free of charge. All you have to do is to pay for shipping. If you truly take your knowledge serious and you want to take advantage of life, join the university. This is where truth seekers belong. Just want to say thank you all. Please leave a comment. Please leave a like. It's going to help me a lot spread this knowledge to the world. And yeah, share this with a friend and subscribe. Thank you all. What is good, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. Today we're going to be talking about Saturn. I've done this video in the past. However, this video is going to contain a lot more in-depth explanation of Saturn. So the 33rd degree Mason, Manly P. Hall, said, Saturn is the key to crystallization, physical matter. Light is matter, matter is light. They are interchangeable. Low vibrating light turns into matter, high vibrating matter turns into light. And Saturn is the god of this world, this physical world. He crystallizes light into matter. This is symbolized as the Masonic checkered board, matter and spirit, matter and light, light and matter. He's also the god of time, destruction, justice. He creates and destroys, because all things in time die. He creates and destroys you. So, because we live in this physical world, which is the electric world, this is why we say electricity, because it comes from the root word of El, Saturn. They used to call Saturn El, E-L. This is why we used to say Elohim is God. The real God of this world is Saturn, but it's being hid. This is being hid. Jesus is Saturn. All of this is Saturn. It's all Saturn worship. It's the real God of this world, So, physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia, because everything is created out of electromagnetic toroidal fields. And these two poles equalize on the plane of inertia, which gives you planet Earth, plane of inertia. The plane of inertia is what Saturn is. It's the ring around the center of the plane of inertia. Thank you to Walter Russell saying, physical matter is a result of two opposing forces on the plane of inertia. This is what Walter Russell says, so please check out his work. He's got many books, many books on light and electromagnetism and stuff like that. So I advise you to check him out. So the torus field gives you the binary code 0 and 1, the female vagina and the male phallus. This is the code for this world. Saturn crystallizes physical matter. Now Saturn is the most outermost layer of the 7 layers of heaven, where it says in the Quran, it says, Allah, it is He who created the 7 layers of heaven. Saturn is the outermost layer. He's the top. He's the most high. So when we say the most high, we're referring to Saturn. He's the most high before the firmament, before the stars. So Saturn is the god of this world. He's the Lord of the Rings. He wears the crown. The crown is the rings. Crown, Chronos. So the planets are luminaries. They are lights. They are beings. They are energy, conscious energy. And we're in the heart of the solar system. Saturn is the outermost layer. He is the one of this world. He's the god of this world. Now, on the North Pole of Saturn, you have the hexagon. Add up all the sides. It creates the 6-pointed star. Or it can be created as a cube. The cube is very important. The 6-pointed star is very important. 6 points, 6 triangles, 6 side, 6, 6, 6. Black cube adds up to 6 in gematria. Now, what did I say in the beginning? Saturn crystallizes the physical world. He creates physical things out of light. You are a light being. This is why we say human. Hue means the light spectrum. Hue, man, we are light manifested into physical forms. Human. And we are incarnated through Saturn. Satan, same thing. The number of the beast is 666, and the 666 comes from the 6.6 triangle, 6 sides of Saturn, 666. We are all known as carbon-based life forms. Carbon, the atomic structure of carbon, is 666, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. We are materialized into our physical bodies through Saturn, through the number of the beast. These bodies are the beast, it's the animal. The divine, the Christ, is the consciousness within, because you are a physical, spiritual being combined into one, hexed into one. Hexagram. This is a hexagram. You're hexed into physical matter, spirit and matter, light and dark, combined into one. Now you contain of the mark of the beast, the mark of your body. Your body's the beast. It says in the Bible, Satan, who is the god of this world. This world. There are many different worlds, but this world is run by Saturn, and it says that in the Bible. Saturn is Satan. It's the same thing. And look at the crown of thorns are wrapped around the heart. The soul is in the heart. The mind is in the brain. The soul is wrapped around the rings of Saturn. You're wrapped in physical matter. This is what it's showing you. This is symbolizing the rings of Saturn wrapping you. And the cross on top is the cross of the cube. The cube, the black cube of Saturn, unfolds into a cross. So Satan, who is the god of this world, Corinthians 4:4 in the Bible, Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. Saturn blinds your mind, because the god of this world materializes you, and he blinds your mind when you incarnate into physical matter. When you enter this soul system, not the solar system, you hit Saturn first. He materializes you. And look at the symbol for Saturn. This is the symbol for Saturn. All of the planet symbols are created out of the Holy Trinity. The Earth, Moon, and Sun. Body, mind, and soul. The sun is your soul, the moon is your mind, the earth is your body. Your body's made out of the 5 elements. The sun is your soul, because the sun is life force, gives life to everything. Your sun is a soul. Your soul is the sun of your body. The moon is the mind. The moon is the moon of your body, the mind of your body. Intelligence. So all of the symbols of the planets are created out of these. The Saturn symbol is created out of the Earth cross, matter, and the moon crescent, moon, mind, matter over mind. This is why Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. He blinds your mind. Look at the symbol, it's showing you. The Saturn symbol is matter over mind, when it should be mind over matter. So we descend into a soul system, into our 666 Saturn carbon suit bodies, and we are matter over mind. Then we have to move up the spine to go back up to spirit, to mind over matter, where you manipulate your own reality. Now look at this. It creates the number 5. 5 is the number of change. You're moving from this side of the number sequence over to the right side. You're moving from the spiritual into the physical world. You're incarnating into the 5 elements, the 5 senses. So the cube, the black cube of Saturn, is another major symbol. Very important symbol. Here you see the cube, and the color black is associated with Saturn, because Saturn's associated with death. He creates and destroys. Light and dark. Death is associated with black, spirit, because you can't see spirit, which is blackness. So the black cube is black because Saturn rules the nighttime, which is dark, blackness, and he rules the winter, which is death, blackness. So Saturn is the black cube. Cubes have 6 sides: up, down, right, left, back, and forward. Cubes are 6-sided. Everything is 6-sided inside of this creation, because you're incarnating, you're materializing, crystallizing into the cube, the world of the cube. Everything's a cube. Everything's got 6 sides. Here's Leonardo da Vinci showing you that you're in the cube. Leonardo da Vinci did this famous painting. You're in the cube, you're hexed into physical matter. We're incarnated into the third dimension, the three-dimensional world, which is a cube, 3D. And black cube adds up to six sides of the black cube. The Kabbalah means cube god in Arabic. And look at what they do. They worship the cube, the black cube, and they stand in rings like the rings of Saturn. Australia, Denmark, Manhattan, Santana all have these black cubes. You go to New York, you will see the black cube there as well. These black cubes are everywhere because it is the real God of this world, So look at the cross. The cross unfolds into the cube. Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, Sega Saturn, anything to do with a simulated gaming reality, they put Saturn in it because we're in the simulation of Saturn. This is a simulation. And this is why they reflect this through the Xbox, GameCube, Sega Saturn, anything to do with gaming, simulations, is all Saturn. Because we're in the cube of Saturn, the black cube. We're in the GameCube, the Xbox, the Sega Saturn. As above, so below. So they reflect it through the simulations that they create inside of this simulation. Cubes have 8 points for the 8 points of time and space. 8 is the number of time. Everything's cycling, infinity. So look at the cube. The cube is symbolized as in Judaism. The Judees have the black cube. They wrap themselves in a black band and they cover their eyes into blackness. The black cube for the black cube of Saturn. They use the star as Saturn, and they worship their god on Saturn Day because it's all Saturn worship. And look how the Saturn god is wrapped around with these thorns or leaves, just like Jesus is wrapped around his heart. And Jesus on the cross is us on the cross. We are in the cross. We are in the cube. The cross is the cube. And the cross is even in the Saturn symbol. This is another symbol for Saturn. There's two symbols. You got this one, the one I've just broke down. And there's this one. This is the cross of Saturn, the cube god, the simulation, the game cube. Now, Chronos is another word for Saturn. Chronos means time. When you clock into work, you go to the Chronos machine. Well, I did anyway. And I tap my card on the Chronos because Chronos is time. Anything to do with time is Saturn. He creates and destroys. Look at the artwork of Saturn with the sand, the time. Look at this, how he's cutting off the baby's wings. He's crystallizing the spirit into matter. He's cutting off your wings. Satan, in the Bible, he falls from heaven into earth and he loses his wings. He becomes a serpent. You see, it's all symbolic for us. We are the fallen angels, fallen angles of light. We're fallen angles of light. We are light beings. Now we're fallen into physical matter. Saturn's chopped off our wings. He's chopped off our spirit wings because when you astral project, you can fly. You will fly around. He's got the Reaper staff here, always depicted with the Reaper staff. Now look at the clock. Saturn Day is the 6th day. The number of the beast, 666. Look at the clock. 6 take away 12. 12 take away 6 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 8 take away 2 equals 6. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Everything's 666 because it's time. Saturn. All goes to Saturn. He's the god of time. We're in time now. We're in time. We're in the time, which is God. The god of this world. The god of time. Now look at this. The Reaper is also depicted as the Reaper with the staff, the black cloak, black symbolizing death, spirit, Judges wear black because Saturn is the law. He's the god of this world. He's the law. This is why they wear black cloaks. When you graduate from university, you wear a black cloak and a black cube on your head. You've been hexed. Funerals, you wear black because it's all to do with Saturn, Father Time, Father Crystallization. Now, Saturn, here's another one of him cutting off the wings of a child. Because he cuts off the wings. He creates and destroys your body. We're in the electrical world. Everything that is electrical vibrates. All vibrations have to come back to a standstill point, which is death. This is why your body dies. Your atoms stop vibrating. Corona. Look at the crown. The crown is the corona. Corona means crown. And look at this is an alcohol brand for beer. You can see the staff of Saturn in the symbol with the moon crescent. Corona, which is the crown, Saturn, the crown on Saturn, the rings. And then you've got the staff. It's all Saturn worship. Is the black cubes of 9/11. 2 black cubes. This was a ritual for Saturn. It's all ritualistic. And look at the Star of David, the Star of Saturn. It's not the Star of David. Creates IXXI, the sigil of Saturn. IXXI means 9/11 in Roman numerals. 9/11. It's all a ritual for Saturn, and they have the 2 black cubes of Saturn. Now look, XX, there's more symbolism of Saturn now. We're going deeper. XX is more symbolism for Saturn. The sigil of Saturn is XX, as above, so below. Same with the Star of David. You split it in the middle, as above, so below, as above, so below. XX, this is a Knights Templar Cross of Lorraine. XX, Knights Templar, High Order of Masonry. They all worship Saturn. Well, Saturn's the real god of this world. X Eon with the XX, XXL magazines, which is all to do with famous rappers and stuff like that. When you die, you put XX on the eyes because it's Saturn. He's the Reaper. Is Jesus with the XX crown with the thorns around his heart, around his soul, with the cube on the top, the cross cube. Lucifer with the XX Cross of Lorraine. Jay-Z with his alcohol brand, XX Cross of Lorraine. The X Factor with the rings of Saturn. All Saturn worship. The seal of Melchizedek is also Saturn. This is the cube. This symbolizes the cube with the 8 points for the 8 points of space and time. And this is the cube. It's another ancient symbol for Saturn. Here you see the star of Saturn with the Melchizedek symbol around it, which is all to do with Saturn. Here you see an altar, the Holy Grail, the Melchizedek symbol on it, and they're worshipping it. This is why we wear rings, wedding rings for the rings of Saturn. It all goes back to Saturn. Earrings. The 8-pointed star of the ancient Sumerians is all Saturn. It's all Saturn. So the ancients, the symbols of Saturn goes on forever. It's in all of the major corporations. You can see it everywhere, the rings of Saturn. Toyota is an obvious one. Internet, Nike, Target, Sega, Saturn. It's all Saturn worship. All Saturn worship. Because he is the real god of this world. Here's Kanye West's album with a Saturn here. Here's Michael Jackson's album saying X, escape. There's the X again. The X, escape. You have to escape this reality. Maybe that's what he's pointing at. Here you see it on the dollar bill, the star of Saturn. Here you see it again on the dollar bill. So that is it for today's people. I hope you all gain some insight on Saturn. Please like, comment, and share if you can. Subscribe if you like the channel. Please have an amazing day. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
What is good, people? Is Revival of Wisdom. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of Saturn and the occult. Let's jump straight into this. So Saturn is the god of the earth, right? It's the time of God, change, destruction, physical matter. He creates and destroys, because the energy of Saturn is the key to crystallization. It wraps things in physical matter, right? He creates everything, all life forms, and he takes things back, because the day that you're born, that's the day that your expiry date is coming. The time is ticking until Saturn takes your life. This is why he's known as the Reaper. Okay? As he's personified as eating his child here in this ancient Roman painting. As you can see, he's eating the child. We are all children of Saturn, right? He creates physical matter, our physical bodies, right? He's the god of time because he's the slowest moving celestial body. He's the Lord of the Rings, as you can see here. He's the last one on the ring. He's the slowest one moving, okay? So he is the Lord of time, of destruction and creation, okay? This is why his name is Saturn, Satan. He's the devil, okay? But I'm not saying Saturn's evil, guys. It's a part of life. Everything lives and dies, right? He's the key to crystallization. Now, as we have the clock here, our god Saturn, or Chronos in Greek, just means time. He's also the god of time, as I've already said. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Add 2 plus 4 equals 6. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Okay? And as you see on the clock, 6 take away 12 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 9 take away 3 equals 6. 6 is the number of Saturn. It's associated with Saturn, right? He's the god of time, of justice. Everything goes back to the Reaper in the end. Everything lives and dies. Now, the artwork of him, he's always got the Reaper staff. You see, it's personifying death. Now, when you see this, the Romans were not saying Saturn was a real person, a real god in human form. No, this is personification. This is what the ancients always did. They personified, just like the Bible. It's all personification. So the personifying Saturn eating its children, because it eats, it's the Reaper. No one can escape the Reaper. No one can escape death. Now, Saturn is 666, which is in the Bible, the number of the beast, right? The number of the beast, Satan, 666, right? So on the North Pole of Saturn, you have a hexagon, which makes a cube, right? Now this hexagon, when you join up all the corners, creates the 6-pointed star known as the Star of David, right? In the Jewish religion. Now, as you can see, the 6-pointed star has 6 points, 6 mini triangles, and a 6-sided hexagon. That makes 666. And also, you have Saturday is named after Saturn, the sixth planet, the sixth day of the week, and has a six-sided polygon in its north pole. That's also 666. Now, this Star of David, this symbol goes back thousands of years, and it originates from Saturn. It's not the Star of David, right? It originates from Saturn. It symbolizes the physical and spiritual aspect combined into one, which makes us humans, right? Also symbolizes the male and female combined into one. These two sacred energies create the human. We consist of both male and female energy, also known as the Seal of Solomon. And we all know if Solomon was a real person, he talks about communicating with 72 demons. He could apparently, in the text, he could communicate with 72 demons, and this is sorcery. This is black magic. Now, this symbol is associated with hexing people. When you place a hex on someone, that is a form of witchcraft, which a hex is just a curse. When you're cursing someone, this is black magic. Now, the black magician would stand in the middle of the symbol and cast his spells onto other people. Now, this symbol is obviously on the $1 bill, twice on the $1 bill. And it's very, very ancient symbol. And it originates from Saturn. And let's keep going. So the cube. So I just said how you see the cube on the North Pole of Saturn, right? The cube is limited. It's a 3D shape. It symbolizes limitations to the physical 3D dimension, the third dimension, the physical realm which we are in. Now, as you can see, the color associated with Saturn is black, right? Black is infinite potential. Black is the creation of all things. Before there was light. Light is born out of blackness, darkness, okay? Now, black is physical matter. And as you can see, the black cube, black symbolizing physical matter, the cube being limited, as the physical realm that we are in is limited. It's not like the fourth dimension where everything can exist in a thought. The third dimension is limited, right? And this is what Saturn is. It limits you to the 3D 666. Your body limits you to your physical body. Now, these black cubes are placed everywhere. As you can see, Australia, Denmark, Manhattan. There's one in New York. As you can see, the Apple have a cube. The Nintendo GameCube. Trump Tower is a black cube. This is worshipping the energy of Saturn, the god Saturn. Okay, it's not a god, it's a celestial energy. However, it rules over Earth because it pretty much created the physical realm. Now, as you see, when you go to a funeral, you wear black, a black suit symbolizing Saturn, which is the color associated, black. And as you see in Mecca, they walk around the black cube in rings. As you can see here, they're stood around in rings, like the Saturn, the rings of Saturn. The Mercedes symbol. You probably wouldn't notice that, but yes, it's Saturn. And when you graduate from university, you wear a black cube on your head. This is all symbolizing Saturn. Okay? Now, as you can see, the Jews here have a black cube on their third eye whilst they pray. Notice how he's shutting his eyes into blackness, darkness, and he's wrapped around a black strap around his arm. This is symbolizing the wrapping of physical matter, of how physical matter wraps things into existence. And as we all know, the Star of David is a Jewish symbol. So he has the black cube and the Star of David, right? So all of these religions are secretly worshipping Saturn. Okay, this is all Saturn worship, Kronos, the god of time and destruction, the physical reality. Now, as you can see, it's symbolized everywhere in all major corporations. Pepsi, internet, that's obvious. NASA, of course, NASA. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Universal, Walkers, that one's so obvious. Nike, Toyota. So many different ways they symbolize it. You either see the rings of Saturn or the black cube, as I just showed you here, the Nintendo and the Mercedes, right? It's absolutely everywhere. Now, they also use 666 to symbolize it, as I've just broken it down to you. 666, the World Economic Forum. We all know how they're trying to enslave us into this new world agenda. Google Chrome, CERN, Disney, Coca-Cola, Cadbury's, all of these have 666. Now, every UPS barcode has 666. And even www. Is Hebrew for 666, as you can see here. Monster. It's the same Hebrew letter. It means 666. Drake, 6 God. That's his God, Saturn. Why? Because they love physical realm. They love the physical dimension, the third dimension. Because they can rule here through riches. They can build an empire here. It's not like the fourth dimension. They don't want to ascend. They want to stay down here in the physical realm. Okay? Now, this is why they're cloning. They can move their consciousness into other clones to live forever. This technology exists. This is why they love the third dimension. As you can see, all of these sellouts here, Drake, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, all of these people doing 666 because this is their God. This is their God. They love the physical realm. They sold their souls for wealth and fame in this physical realm. So why would they leave? You see? Now, this isn't all just evil, okay? So you have 7 chakras, right? You have 7 days of the week, 7 solfeggio scale notes. These are frequencies, the solfeggio scale. Now, it's called the Saturn moon matrix because the moon symbolizes your mind, because you're created out of the Holy Trinity, which is body, mind, and spirit, right? That's the triangle, the equal triangle, body, mind, and spirit. Now, the 3 main celestial bodies are Earth, Moon, and Sun. The Earth being your physical body, the Moon being your mind, and the Sun is your soul, hence why it's called solar. It's a solar, soul. Now, these symbols are alchemical symbols, so when you're doing alchemy, you use these symbols to obviously symbolize what we're talking about. Now, as you can see, these are all the symbols of the planets. Of Saturn is created out of the moon on top, the moon on the bottom and the earth on top, as you can see here. You see? And this creates the number 5. Now, with the moon being your mind and the earth being your physical body, this is mind over matter, because the earth is your body's matter. This is matter over mind. You don't want to be matter over mind. This is low states of consciousness. You won't be mind over matter. You see, to manipulate matter, to create your own reality. Now, obviously, we all know Saturn is associated with the lowest chakra, which is the root chakra. This is to deal with your animal instincts. When you're down here, You identify as the physical body. You don't know anything spiritual. You're pure a physical, you have a pure physical mind. You don't believe in anything spiritual. This is survival mode, consumption. They want you trapped down here, which is matter over mind. They don't want you to create your own reality, which is mind over matter. You see? Now, that's what Jupiter is. Saturn is the moon on the bottom and the earth on top. But Jupiter is the moon on top with the earth on the bottom. That's mind over matter, you see? So, these chakras are an ascension process from spiritual, from matter, physical matter to spiritual. This is the ascension. This is the stairway to heaven. This is Jacob's ladder. You see? Now, the number 5, which is obviously associated with Saturn as well, which create the symbol for Saturn, created the number 5. You have 5 senses, 5 elements, 5 physical elements. As we all know, Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter out of the 4 elements. 5 fingers and toes, 5 points of man. Okay, the number 5 is the number of justice. Saturn holds things back. He restrains things from you, makes you learn the lesson. Now, 666 is not all evil. 666 is the atomic structure of the carbon atom. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, right? We are carbon-based life forms. All life forms are based on the bonding properties of the element carbon. Because Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter. Now, the Masons symbolize this with the checkered boards. They have the black square, which is obviously matter, as I just said, the black cube. And spirit is the white square, because white is eternal light. White and light, you see? Black is physical matter. Now, this is what we are. The point of our soul is to transmute from matter to spirit, but these are interchangeable. This is the constant cycle between spirit and matter, spirit and matter. High vibrational matter turns into spirit. Low vibrational spirit turns into physical matter. You see? Now, we are carbon-based life forms. This is what 666 is, the number of the beast. When I say we, the physical body is the beast. It's the animal. It's the carbon suit to operate in this physical dimension, in this physical realm. See? It's the vehicle used to operate in this physical realm. But your mind isn't from this physical realm, you see? The brain is the physical manifestation of the soul. Okay? So, as you can see here, the spine is an extension of the brain. Everything goes back to the brain. This is literally what your physical body is. You see, this is the nervous system, and everything reports back to the brain, and everything's controlled from this control center. And this spinal column, at the top of the spinal column, is your third eye, which is known as the pineal gland. And this is the seat of consciousness. It's the center of consciousness. That is your true self, pure consciousness. This body is just a physical body. This body is mortal. This body runs out, but your consciousness lives forever. They don't want you knowing this. This is why they keep you down here in your lower chakra. They want you to believe everything is just physical. They don't want you to believe in the spiritual side of reality. Because this way they can manipulate you, right? They want you matter over mind because they know your mind creates reality. They know your mind is the root cause of reality. You manifest your own reality from the inside out. So this is why they control your perception of reality. They control your information in order to manifest their new world order. You, who are ignorant to knowledge and wisdom, you who are ignorant are manifesting their agenda because you accept their information and their perception of this reality. Now, this is why they tell you the globe model, the heliocentric model, to trap you into physical matter. Now, if you understood about this true form of this realm, you'd understand that there's a spiritual side behind everything. The spiritual side, something has to exist. The root cause of reality is higher planes of existence. It happens in the mind before it happens on the physical plane. You see? They don't want you knowing this. They want you matter over mind, which is the symbol for Saturn. Moon over Earth. The Holy Trinity. Now, as you can see, the cube also makes IXXI. This is Roman numerals. This is Roman numerals. And when it's translated from 9/11. Yes, 9/11. This is the secret code of the one world order. The two twin towers, when the two become one. Okay, when the two become one, this is how you reach the higher states of consciousness, the physical and spiritual. Now, as you can see, the 9/11 memorial are two black cubes. It's two black cubes. This is all Saturn worship. Now, I'm not saying that Saturn is an evil celestial body, right? No, everything has a good side and a bad side, right? It's duality. The spirits of Saturn on the dark side are the most evil demonic spirits. Now, these are the spirits that these are invoking through these rituals, right? Yes, 9/11 was a massive ritual. It's a satanic ritual, okay? Now, we all know Elon Musk. Elon Musk is coming with the mark of the beast. In English gematria, this equals 666, right? 666, as I said, is the number of the beast. You are the beast, your physical body. You see how the Bible twisted things up to make things more confusing, right? But it's there. You just have to have the knowledge to be able to read the Bible properly. As we all know, we had this virus. I'm not going to say the name because I'll get flagged. This virus adds up to 666 because this is all part of the New World Order. It's all part of keeping you in this physical dimension. Okay? Now, as you can see here, Novus Ordo Seclorum on the back of his shirt, on Elon Musk's shirt, this is also on the $1 bill, Novus Ordo Seclorum. This means New World Order. Yes, New World Order. This is on the back of Elon Musk's shirt. And as you can see here, he owns Neuralink, which is the brain chip, which they're going to be putting into implanting this onto your brain. This is the New World Order to connect you and merge your consciousness with AI. Neuralink and Meta, he owns Meta as well, which is the metaverse. These are going to be linked in, hence why they have the same symbol, but just in a different format. It's the infinity symbol. And the infinity symbol comes from the torus field. As you can see here, your electromagnetic field from around your body.
Now, the end goal is for this New World Order is to trap your consciousness inside of an alternative reality being projected from the metaverse. Because the metaverse will be the reality. Neuralink will be the brain chip inside of your brain, projecting your consciousness into an alternative reality while they harness your energy of your physical 666 body. Now, this stuff gets real deep, people. Now, this is the end goal of the New World Order, is to connect you with AI. This is why they're trapping you and keeping you in these lower states of consciousness in a Saturn-associated root chakra, so you don't find out about the spiritual side of reality. Because if you knew the truth of this reality, you wouldn't connect to AI. You see, you have the power within you to travel to other worlds, the astral plane, for example. You travel to different worlds when you are sleeping. Okay? They want you to know it's just a dream. However, their end goal is to trap your consciousness and feed off your energy, spiritually and physically. Okay? I don't know why these people are just pure evil. As I said, evil love bondage. They love the physical dimension. They don't want to ascend to other realms. These evil love the third dimension. This is why evil spirits will inhabit bodies, exorcisms, because they miss being in the physical realm. They miss it. Evil love bondage. So this is why they're cloning and putting their consciousness in clones to stay in this third dimension, to stay as further away from the source as possible. Okay? This is why they're doing it. And this is how it's all linked in. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you gained some wisdom. Please feel free to join the Telegram. And please leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you all, people. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Today we're going to be breaking down Saturn worship and how the occult are linked in with Saturn. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the celebrities. All these celebrities are doing 666. Okay, covering the one eye, which also symbolizes the all-seeing eye, which is another occult symbol. But we're focusing on the 666, the 6 with the 3 fingers. Also, we have CERN with the 666 within their logo. Also Disney, okay, as you can see here, 666 within their logo. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and even Cadbury's. Monster Energy with the 666 in Hebrew numerals. Unleash the beast. So what is 666 to do with Saturn? Because on Saturn, there is on their north pole of Saturn, there is a 6-sided hexagon, okay? So Saturday is named after Saturn Day, the 6th planet. It is also the 6th day of the week, and has a 6-sided polygon on its north pole, 666. Not only that, when you create a star out of the hexagon, you will create a 6-pointed star, okay? With 6 triangles within the star, and a 6-sided hexagon, which all adds up to 666. Okay, so this is why all these symbols contain 666. So why do they worship 666? Saturn. Because Saturn is the god of time and death, okay, and order and lessons. Okay, Saturn is a very cold and dry being. That is the 6th planet from the sun. Okay, Saturn represents the winter, which symbolizes death. Okay, because all nature dies within winter because the sun's not there. So it represents darkness and death.
who rules the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Okay, so in the celestial cycle, Saturn is always opposite the sun, so it's the opposite of the sun. So they're worshipping this energy which is death-like. Okay, this god which is death and does not bring life. Okay, also is the god of time. Okay, also in the Roman and in Greek it's called Chronos. Okay, which is just a translation for time. It's also known as the Father Time, aka the Grim Reaper. Okay, the Grim Reaper. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to this. Here are some more logos with Saturn. Okay, NAG, Internet, Wi-Fi. Okay, all these occult logos all worship Saturn. They are a satanic occult. They worship this death god, this evil god. Okay, this is where the cube now comes in. Okay, because what colour is associated with Saturn? It's black, because it's the absence of light. It's opposite the sun. So black is the colour associated with Saturn. Each planet has its own colour associated with it. Okay, so when you make the cube, okay, as you can see here, the cube out of the polygon, it creates what? A black cube. Okay, and the Kabbalah, okay, Kabbalah means cube, Allah means the god, the cube god. These religions are secretly worshipping this cube god, the god of death, Saturn, Satan. It's the same entity behind it all. Okay, so also we have these black cubes in Australia, Denmark, all around the world, these black cubes, because this occult is worldwide. It's Saturn, Satan taking over this realm. Okay, also with this black cube, they walk around it like the rings of Saturn. It's around the black cube of Saturn with the rings. They walk around in circles. What are circles? Cycles. What is a cycle? Time. The time god. This is why it has a ring around it, because it represents time, cycles. Okay? And this is another depiction of Saturn, always depicted with this Reaper staff. Okay? Keep in mind this staff, just like we associated with aka the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper also wears a black robe, representing Saturn with the same staff. Can you see it? This is where it comes in. Okay? The same thing, look, the same staff with the black robe. Black representing Saturn, the god of death. Okay, the Grim Reaper, Satan. Okay. Also, when you graduate from university, what do? You wear a cube on your head, a black cube with a black robe. This is Saturn worship. See, this is how Saturn, Satan, has tricked the world into worshipping him, not God, the sun, which represents God. So what is a corona? Because a corona is a crown, a circle, okay? A set of concentric circles of light seen around a luminous body. So Saturn, so this is why they used to worship Saturn by wearing crowns in ancient days, and we still do to this day. The king or queen has a crown, a corona. Also, corona, the drink. Corona adds up to 666, just like Saturn is 666. But like you see in the corona, you see the staff. You see this staff, just like the staff of Saturn, the Saturn god, like the Grim Reaper, with the black robe and the staff, just like the Saturn god. What is the Grim Reaper? It's a killer. It represents death, just like Saturn, the god of death and time. So all these occults and secret societies all worship the 666 god, which is Saturn, Satan. All of our energy is being put into Saturn. Okay, and Saturn, Satan, is harnessing all of this energy. So gradually, this is what the mark of the beast is. Like it says in the Bible, the mark of the beast, or the name of the beast. Here is wisdom. Let it know that you have to understand and count the number of the beast, for it is 6. It is the number 6 of a man, and is 600, 6, 666. So this is what the mark of the beast is. They are going to eventually put brain chips, just like Neuralink, which is what Elon Musk is pushing. Okay, so this chip is the mark of the beast, and it's going to be implanted to our hands or brains. Okay, and they will manipulate our consciousness, and it will manipulate our DNA, and it will directly connect us to AI, and AI is linked in with Saturn, Satan, as the demons and the people who rule this world are in love with AI. They want to connect humans to AI, and this will control our consciousness completely and give all of our energy back to Saturn, Satan, this deity that they all worship. Just like when you get married, you wear a wedding ring, the rings of Saturn, over the finger, which represents the sun. So you're basically seeing Saturn over the sun. The sun is the son of God. It represents the sun, represents God. So you are putting Saturn over the sun. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to leave you guys here. Please leave a like, comment some topics that you want me to talk about. And please subscribe for more amazing content. God bless.
Left and right hemisphere, and what are they doing? How does it contribute towards your perception in this world? And this is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're going to be breaking down the two hemispheres of the brain and how they function in your life. So first, we have the left hemisphere. This is the logical hemisphere. This is the analytical, divided, scientific, or verbal hemisphere. The right hemisphere is creative, wholeness, artistic, symbolic, and metaphorical. The right hemisphere does with non-verbal things. It produces a holistic perception. It is more to do with creativity. Because what you must understand is that we are not in the external world. The world is produced by our brain. We see with our brain. Our eyes are a part of the brain. What we touch is the brain's interpretation of electrical signals on the nervous system. What we smell is the brain's interpretation of smell through the nose. What you taste is your brain's interpretation of chemical reactions on your taste buds. So what you are experiencing is the brain. The brain is a computer creating a simulation. And you have two hemispheres which breaks down this reality. So essentially the brain is the perception creator. It creates perception. So if the brain is creating this, who is the one experiencing the brain? Well, that is you, the consciousness, the mind, the all-seeing eye. You are the all-seeing eye experiencing the brain, the observer behind the brain, behind reality, behind the emotions. So if you're walking through a woods, this left brain sees individual trees. The right brain sees the whole woods. It sees the biome. It sees the bigger picture. So when you are walking through this woods, the right brain picks up a holistic perception of reality. It creates the woods as one unified woods. The left brain's job is to break this down and analyze it so that we can see individual things And this is also necessary for humans to have the ability to break things down and manipulate things in this world. So without this left hemisphere, we could not manipulate things and break things down. So this right hemisphere is important because it sees the whole woods. It sees humanity as one unified consciousness. However, the left hemisphere sees individual egos. So the left hemisphere is the place of the ego because it only understands it sees the world very divided. Okay, so for example, here's another example of the left and right hemisphere. If someone pulls out in front of you in traffic, your left brain's going to start going crazy and analyzing them, calling them names. The right hemisphere, however, sees the bigger picture. Maybe he didn't see you. Maybe it's just a mistake. Maybe he's in a rush. You see how the two brains are very different. They do the same thing, but they function in different ways. The right hemisphere is feminine. The left hemisphere is masculine. So, like I said, this person pulls out in front of you. You start to think with the left. If you start to perceive that in the left brain, you're going to start analyzing them. You're going to start going crazy and calling them names because you're analyzing it. You're not seeing the bigger picture behind it. You're not seeing it from his perspective. So there is a crossover. So the left hemisphere of the brain controls the right side of the body, the right ear, the right eye. Everything to do with the right side of the body is connected to the left hemisphere, and the right hemisphere controls everything on the left side of the body, including your eyes, your arms, your legs. So everything is crossed over, and even your visual field is crossed over. So this is your visual field, as you can see here, and even the left side of your visual field goes to the right brain. There's a crossover. No one really knows. There's not really a reason for this. However, this is how the human body is designed. As we all know, the human body is the most advanced piece of technology on the face of the earth. They cannot replicate the human body. And they tell you it has no creator. This is crazy. People are that brainwashed, they can't even understand that their body is the most advanced piece of technology. Your body is so advanced, the computers that you use are mimicked of the body. Everything they create is mimicking nature, but they don't show you how intelligent nature is because they don't want you to understand you're in an intelligent design. So anyways, let's get back on track. There is a crossover in the brain, and this is why they teach you to write with your right hand. And I was speaking to someone who's in a nunnery, or whatever you want to call it. They were a nun, or they knew someone who was who was a nun, and they forced these people, these nuns, to write with their right hand. You had to write with your right hand. This is why, I'd say at least 70% of the world, or 80%, is right-handed and right-legged, because they taught us this to activate the left hemisphere more because of this crossover that happens in the body. So when we are using this right side more, we are using that left hemisphere more. Why? Why are they doing this? Well, they also called it writing. Writing is a spell, to cast a spell on you to use that right side of the body so that you use this left hemisphere, because they want you to see the world as a divided perception. They don't want you using the right hemisphere, using that left side of the body to activate the right hemisphere to see the bigger picture and see how everything is all one and everything is created. This left hemisphere domination keeps you from seeing the connections between everything, because that left hemisphere analyzes, it breaks things down. So when we are left hemisphere dominated by using the right side of the body, we are essentially seeing everything as divided. And this is why so many people will not understand my work, because my work connects dots and connects fields of knowledge, and makes you see the bigger picture. So people who are left hemisphere dominated will see my work and think this guy's crazy. But it's all about activating that right hemisphere. So they call it writing because every word you say is molding your mind in some sort of way. The things you see is molding your mind. Everything you take in through the five senses is molding your mind. And language is a massive spell, especially the English language. They call it writing, so that you use that right side. It's a spell because your subconscious mind picks up everything you say. And 90% of your daily basis behavior and thought patterns is produced by these subconscious programs within the subconscious mind. Essentially, your conscious mind is only the 10% of you. The conscious mind is just what you're aware of, what you're wearing, how you're feeling, what you're thinking. That's your conscious mind. The subconscious mind is controlling every system in your body. It's telling your heart to beat without you being conscious of it. So essentially, this is what they're programming. They're programming this system in the back of the mind, which is controlling everything through the words. And this is what spells are, because it's all about creating perception in the subconscious. So they want you to use that right side more. I truly believe the ancients, they were balanced. They used the left and the right side of the body. They didn't have a stronger side because they understood this science of the body and how the body works. So this is actually called phonetics. It's not etymology. Etymology is the study of root words. Phonetics is the study of how words sound similar. The way words are spoken. So phonetics, phone, is why we call them a phone. Because you speak into a phone. So this is write and writing, to use that right side to activate the left hemisphere more. So your hands are a manifestation of your brain. The left hand is the right brain. The right hand is the left brain. And as a child, we were always taught that when you place your hands together like this is the size of your brain, which is true because your hands are a part of your brain. They're an extension of your brain. Every part of your body other than your brain is an extension of the brain. Everything's working and feeding back information to the brain because you're experiencing the brain. So another trick that you can do, or another exercise, is looking in the mirror and closing one eye at a time. If you close your right eye, if you take your top off, for example, you'll analyze your body if you close your right eye, because you're using that left hemisphere. Sorry, other way around. If you look at yourself through your right eye, you'll use that left hemisphere, which will analyze yourself. You'll see individual body parts. If you close the right eye and use the left eye, you'll see your body as a whole. You won't really analyze it. This is how you can analyze yourself using these two hemispheres. So this whole system is created to keep you thinking logically and to restrict you from creating and restrict you from understanding symbolism, allegories, metaphors, and teamwork. They want you stuck in a logical way of thinking and a logical way of seeing the world. This is why when you go to school, you are told exactly what to do. You're told to think this way and no other way. You're told to do orders, do this. It's a very left-brained system, because if we all started to open up this right hemisphere, we'd all see, wow, everything is all one. Everything's all connected. And this is what my work is doing. I'm showing you everything is one. The physical world is an illusion of duality, but everything comes from the one source, the one mind. The universe is a giant mind. I am mind, you express mind. We all possess mind. Behind the physical body is the same mind consciousness. And we are all expressions and fractals of this infinite consciousness called mind. And this is what they don't want us to figure out, is that we are all just one consciousness expressed. It's an infinite consciousness. It's even in the squirrel, it's in the dog. All of these different animals, they're just different bodies, but behind the bodies is the same consciousness, which is mind.